What's going on, gamers? So today we're going to be doing a video on PlayStation saying that PS5 is the most successful PlayStation generation ever with 136 billion in sales so far. Sony is calling the PlayStation 5 generation of consoles its most successful to date after reaching a milestone of 136 billion so far. Yo, record profits by a mile. They did that and like half the damn generation, right? Canceling all that stuff and not giving you the best gaming generation you could have possibly had from first party. Yes, they made the most money from a business microtransaction standpoint, which I don't, yeah, it's like, okay. But I don't feel like this is the best PlayStation generation from a gaming standpoint. And it is not. You still have a lot of work to do. You're still gonna have to do a lot of cross gen support when the PS6 comes out because the PS5 is still could be supported for a while. What I mean by that, well, that can just be your basic combinator, basic common denominator console as a PC, right? This is the basic PC settings we have right now, and then this is PS6. You don't have to upgrade to this. You can still be on this setting because we're still going to be supporting this for quite some time before we, you know what I mean, move on. It's still going to be there for quite some time, just like the PS4 has been there for quite some time. But here's my thing. These last 3 years have been insanely rocky. Definitely with this year being absolutely the most insane year in PlayStation as well, along with Xbox. We've seen the most insane anti-consumer behavior we've ever seen. I don't get how you can come out and say this, but not realize that you need to have the best PlayStation generation ever from a gaming perspective. From a first party perspective, Orlando comes in and says, then charging people for disk drives and controllers that break easily. Yeah, that's annoying, and I don't believe them. Ironically, it is the worst generation in terms of games variety, number of releases, and quality. If you want to talk about PlayStation first party only, what Sony's doing, it's definitely not the best, but plus I don't think we have gotten a true current gen game yet from PlayStation, at least. PS2 was the most successful. PS5 is still successful for being overpriced. Well, like I said, you got all these idle microtransactions. Like 90% of PlayStation is third parties. You know what I mean? That's mostly their success. So them saying this is just saying a lot about third party. But what about your games and all that? That's what I'm saying. You could say that from that point of view, but you cannot say that from a gamer point of view. And that is the most important thing. Most expensive console? Well, not anymore. Most successful software sales in the gutter. They alienated countless buyers. Ratio of active players does not affect console sales or reflect console sales. In-house output is atrocious. In-house studios are an afterthought. No PS3 ports. Horizon Zero Dawn and Last of Us milking. Layoffs aplenty. No consistency within dev teams. They were forced to port games to PC even. Then again, I don't know about that. They overcharge as F and people pay up like morons. Okay, I can understand that. And then going to PC is good. So I'm not surprised they still get profits. They could definitely build a statue of shit and people would buy it too. The collector's edition, which are absolutely pathetic at best this generation. No disc, no steelbook, no art book. You name it, yet they cost 2 to 3 times more. They collector's editions with everything. Ironically, it's the worst effing generation for PlayStation. Damn, this guy just went off. I can understand how he feels in certain ways. From our first party standpoint, I get what he means. Like I said, you make record profits, you do all this, but you're still dumping on your base in a way. You should be rewarding them more. I like that you added Alan Wake 2 for the next month. But what I'm saying, this stuff should be consistency. When you're winning like that and making record profits, same thing with Microsoft, right? It doesn't really matter. Just reward them and things are going to be better. So the article over here is going to get a highlight over here by IGN. We ready to click on this? Because he's going to give his highlight real quick. And then we're going to move down to the article and read it. Like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you guys think about this. This is not really a beating down video to the PlayStation gamers either. This is more like, yeah, Sony, I see what you're saying, but what about where it matters most to where if the PlayStation community could say it is the most successful PlayStation generation ever? That's what the gamers should feel. So let's get into this and see what this guy has to say real quick. We're going to go ahead and start here. All right, we can go ahead and just pause this real quick.
What's up, everybody? Damon here, and in today's gaming news, Sony says PlayStation 5 is its most successful generation ever. We finally have prices for the ROG Xbox Ally handhelds, and a quick update on Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3.
We're not doing that, that's separate. Before I tell you this Ally drama, though.
Sony has called the PS5 its most financially successful console generation to date. This was revealed by Sony Interactive Entertainment CEO Hideaki Nishino during his recent keynote speech delivered at Tokyo Game Show. According to Nishino's presentation, Sony's Game and Network Services division, which includes Sony Interactive Entertainment, has generated $136 billion in sales during the PS5 generation so far. This surpasses sales made during the reign of all previous Sony consoles, making the PS5 the most successful generation to date.
From a business standpoint.
In comparison, the division made 107
And a third-party carrying standpoint.
billion from 2013 to 2019, aka the PS4 generation.
Okay.
A graph revealed that over the past 31 years since the original PS1's launch, each subsequent console generation has brought in more money than the last. For reference, sales during the PS3 lifecycle were 71 billion, the PS2 44 billion, and the PS1 24 billion. It should be emphasized that these revenue figures encompass sales across the entire game and network business during the time periods in question, so that huge 136 billion in sales during the PS5 generation will include money Sony continues to make from PS4 hardware and software. According to Sony's most recent sales data,
It's that too, and just the insane microtransactions that they get just by being idle. Just not doing anything. The Fortnite money, you know what I mean? All that type of stuff. Call of Duty, man. They're consistently just getting microtransactions across all those games, counting that's revenue and sales. I mean, and you have the main platform for third-party support, and it's massively carrying, then that could make sense. Definitely when you canceled all those games and you're still getting that much, that should just tell you how much money they make off a third party and how much success that is, how they set the ecosystem up like that. It is.
PS5 consoles have sold an estimated combined total of over 80.3 million units worldwide as of June 30th, 2025. Total PS4 console sales still outnumber this 117 million. Nishino also specifically addressed the Japanese publishers in attendance at TGS, saying, "I believe that the demand for Japanese games is on the rise worldwide. Japanese publishers have been essential to the PlayStation's success since the very beginning, and we strongly believe that they will continue to be so. Going
Bro, the fact that he said this is actually good, rather than Sony selling their soul to be a Western company 24/7 when they're from Japan. I believe that the demand for Japanese games is on the rise worldwide. You think? Been like that. Japanese publishers have been essential to the PlayStation success since the very beginning. Yeah, and you guys forgot about that. And we strongly believe that they will continue to be so. Watch Nintendo. Going forward, we would like to continue to be a hub for disseminating excellent Japanese content to the world. Hey, you know what, Nishino? If you're going to do that, I like that mindset. This is what I want to see Sony do, because like I was saying before, the balance is off. It's way too into the West, where it's like everything was led by Naughty Dog and all these other games. Everything was led by Marvel. Just a super Western movie, focus that I started to see them focus on. And I'm like, okay, so everything in your world is pretty much a Western movie. You've abandoned your Japanese focus, but you're from Japan. Like, you need to get back to that, to where you have a AA, AAA, you know what I mean? And then the same thing with the indie world, and you have a mix of Japanese games, Western games. Like, yeah, if you get back to that PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1 era like that, man, that would be really good. This is going to take some time, though. At least these guys have some visions to see things, unlike other people who are stuck. Yeah, the demand for Japanese games is definitely a thing that we would like to see more on PlayStation from a single player standpoint for sure, and keep that balance going and stick to it. So yeah, this is going to take some time. Just like, there's a lot we got to find out from Sony. I personally think, y'all, I don't know, they haven't been saying it, but I think Fair Games is canceled. Marathon is fine. I think Marathon's going to be around the corner with another test, but Fair Game, man, I don't know about that. So, yeah, them saying it's the most successful at TGS, which was recently, right? So, going down here, it says in comparison, GNS made 107 billion games and network services from 2003 to 2019. I want you guys to think about that, aka the PS4 generation. The graph revealed that over the past 31 years since from the original PS1 launch, each subsequent console generation has brought in more money than the last. For reference, sales during the PS3 cycle was 71 billion, PS2 44, and the PS1 24. You're thinking this, but guys, the reason why is because of greed, microtransactions, and people paying stuff on a console that never existed, had nothing to do with gaming. Netflix, Hulu, you know what I mean? All these type of things just are coming in to have nothing to do with gaming, non-related. And then all these microtransactions. Not to say that it's bad that gaming is making more money, but it depends on what methods and ways it is doing. And a lot of that is hurting gaming that I don't like. We talked about this before with the free-to-play and the gacha and all that other stuff. Rather than making a really good video game and saying, you're making this much more because your games are being bought that much and people are loving these games. Not the case this generation. Definitely with Unreal Engine 5 and all this other stuff. So we have a lot of stuff to turn around. I've been annoyed too with people talking about next gen, thinking that it's all right to just fully move into it. And it's like, dude, how about remedy this broken generation and then go strong into it? We'll see though. Okay, it should be emphasized that the revenue figures encompass sales figures across the entire games and network service business during the time periods in question. So that huge 136 billion in sales during the PS5 generation will include money from money Sony continues to make from the PS4 hardware and software. So they're just saying the PS5 generation, not only PS5. Interesting. Although the PS5 is apparently the most successful generation, the console itself has had its price hiked up numerous times across different regions, with Sony often citing the challenging economic environment. Among the reasons, most recently, in August, PlayStation 5 consoles got a 50% price bump in the US. Despite the backlash that these increases have generated, it seems that the PlayStation 5 is continuing to pick up new users. According to Sony's most recent sales data, PS5 consoles have sold an estimate total of 80.3 million. So, and that's what he says right here. He thinks that it is the most successful. That's what Nishino says. And they strive for it to be the best place for players to play and for creators to publish. Money Hattie. Nishino-san says the PS5 is the most successful generation in history. We know that Geoff Keighley was going to come here, and we know he had to have that up and be a TGS. He's not going to miss anything. So after reading all this, let me know what you guys actually think about this. I know there's a lot of Xbox highlight drama going on, so let's get a video in between. Yeah, we got a lot to do on that. Get ready and remember, man, it doesn't have, like, we're all good over here. Should be fighting over a dumb device, but it's going to get like that. All right, y'all. Peace out. Have a great day. Pony, sit down. PlayStation gamers keep gaming. It's not necessarily bad that Sony's making this much money. That's not what I mean. You guys know what I mean on what we want to be the best PlayStation generation ever. And that's finishing these next 2.5 to 3 years incredibly strong. But obviously, that'd be hard to beat the PS2 and all that. I'm sorry. No. But they still can finish very strong and continue supporting it in the next 4 to 5 years. And things can pick up. And then be branched out everywhere. With all their live service, and things could be going well with maybe some games branching out too to other platforms, which I think will happen. So let me know what you guys think about this. All right, later.